Dogs may be man's best friend, but this time, maybe not so much. Because history can be messy, hilarious, and utterly crazy. In 1925, it was all of that. In a borderland, a dog was responsible for a misunderstanding that cost the lives of humans, a scenario where man's best friend failed to protect. More than 50 men lost their lives, leaving some dogs without a best friend. But how did such a simple chase turn into a full-blown catastrophe? It all started between two sworn frenemies. Greece and Bulgaria, two newly minted independent nations fresh off their Ottoman Empire shackles, had every reason to be best of buddies. They both knew the taste of oppression, and they both yearned for their own slice of the pie. Or rather, their own patch of land. But instead of sharing a cozy fireside chat, they decided to have a spat that would put feuding siblings to shame. World War I ended with a bang. On one side, you had the winning team, the Allies, with Greece giving them a cheeky thumbs up. On the other side, Bulgaria cozied up with Germany, Austria, and Hungary. Now let's fast forward to the grand aftermath. Greece, oh Greece, you smart cookie. For choosing the winning side, you got yourself a treat at the Treaty of Neuilly-sur-Seine. But Bulgaria? Well, let's just say they were dealt a not-so-great hand. Bulgaria had to cough up Western Thrace, like handing over a prized candy bar to the schoolyard bully. And that's not all. They had to part ways with land, handing it over to a mouthful of a country that would later become Yugoslavia. Seeing all of this, two notorious groups didn't buy the idea of Greece eating its cake. The Internal Macedonian Revolutionary Organization and the Internal Thracian Revolutionary Organization decided to unleash violence to the fullest. The Bulgarian Prime Minister, Alexander Stamboliski, tried playing nice with Greece and Yugoslavia, thinking that maybe, just maybe, getting along was a good idea. But no, oh no, the IMRO and the ITRO had other plans, proving that they were not to be messed with. These groups captured, tortured, and ended Alexander, the Bulgarian Prime Minister. Tensions between Greece and Bulgaria just couldn't take a breather, and Bulgaria was waiting, looking for any means to deal with Greece. And that day finally came. Nestled among the rolling mountains of southwestern Bulgaria and northern Greece is Damir Kapu Pass, a slice of land that straddles the border between Bulgaria and Greece. These sentries, like two squabbling siblings, are on the edge, ready to pounce at the tiniest stone thrown to the other side. And a dog made it so. A Greek border guard's dog decides to show off its escape artist skills and dashes into Bulgarian territory. The Greek guard lost sense to the wind and decided to enter the forbidden Damir Kapu, chasing after his beloved dog. Seeing the hide-and-seek, a Bulgarian soldier, perhaps feeling trigger-happy, took aim and fired. And down went the Greek guard. Witnessing one of their own gunned down, the Greeks let loose the cannons, and the Bulgarians, war-hungry, rubbed both hands and did the same. After emptying the first round of ammunition, the Greeks didn't learn their lesson. A Greek officer and soldier trying so hard to save the day thought it was wise to walk into the red zone again and wave a white flag to appease the trigger-happy Bulgarians. But guess what? Bullets started flying again, leaving the officer and his companion lying dead. Tension was rising. The once quiet border was experiencing pandemonium over who would start the next shooting spree. The trigger-happy Bulgarians fell into regret like a bag of potatoes when they found out that what led to the demise of 3 Greek soldiers was just a very big misunderstanding coming from a rebellious Greek dog. Not to lose face, the Bulgarians proposed a Greco-Bulgarian commission to take a closer look at why the dog led its owner to his grave. Was the soldier's love for his dog greater than that of his country? Basically all in the name of investigation. All could have ended there, with all the investigations, paperwork, meetings, yada yada yada. But diplomacy has been thoroughly thrown out the window with the rise to power of notorious Lieutenant General Theodoros Pangalos. General Theodoros Pangalos made away with King Constantine I of Greece, made himself Prime Minister of Greece, and created the Second Hellenic Republic. To appease the people, he turned to a democratic regime. But he didn't take a breather from the presidential mansion. Dictator Pongalos put his power to full use when he suspended the press from spilling any information, both scandalous and informational, and turned the Greek currency into a useless piece of paper as he gave the order to cut paper notes in half. When the people thought they had had enough of his ridiculous decrees, Pongalos made a decree that all women must put on a very long skirt that is at least 30 centimeters above the ground. Well, only the textile factory was happy about this. Husbands began hearing nags from their wives about this rule, from girls to their mothers, and on and on. Everybody was thoroughly unhappy about everything, but the Whisker Wizard wasn't going to give a penny for anyone's wails. And so, the Greek general, not one to back down, gave the trigger-happy Bulgarians an ultimatum. 1. They had to give the soldiers that shot the 3 Greek soldiers some whoopin', punish them severely. 2. They had to make a donation to the weeping families of the lost soldiers to the tune of 2 million French francs. That's if he doesn't hoard some for himself. And lastly, the Bulgarians had to make a public apology, which the Greek people wouldn't see. All of this was to be done within the span of 48 hours, or the poor Bulgarians would see the worst side of the general, which his people are experiencing just a fraction of. The Bulgarians, feeling unremorseful, decided that they were not going to do a thing. Moreover, not a single dime would be sent to those forsaken Greek soldiers' families. The Bulgarian army felt they were capable of withstanding any attack by the Greeks. Since they were able to take care of 3 Greek soldiers, what were they not capable of? On October 22, 1925, General Pongalos of Greece had enough of the Bulgarians' insolence and ordered his troops to trot into Bulgaria. The town of Petrich and some other neighboring villages were his chosen bushes to mark. Bulgaria wasn't about to roll over and play dead, though. The Bulgarians decided to stand their ground. They clashed with the Greeks. But Greece channeled their Spartan bloodline and stood their ground, burning villages to the ground. Now remember, this was the 1920s. No Twitter to share real-time war stories. Instead, desperate Bulgaria did the next best thing. They called in the League of Nations, the predecessor to the United Nations. With a stern sit and decisive stay, the League ordered a ceasefire. That wasn't all. The League didn't just want peace, it wanted justice too. Greece, heel! They commanded, demanding an immediate retreat and a pocketful of compensation for Bulgaria's troubles. Greece, sensing favoritism, pointed and swore at the League and cried hypocrisy. They barked about the Corfu incident of 1923, when Italy took a bite out of the Greek island of Corfu, and the League cheered them on. Greece was calling them out for having double standards, one rule for the big dogs like Italy, and another for the smaller ones like themselves. Oh, the drama. General Pongalos, like a dog with his tail caught in a door, argued his case. He growled about powerful nations getting away with more than a little nip, while the less formidable ones got scolded for every yip. But even a tough pup knows when it's time to give in. But Bulgaria hadn't escaped the fight unscathed. Around 50 of their own had fallen in the skirmish. 50 for 3 Greeks. So unfair. Greece was ordered to cough up 45,000 pounds as a peace offering. Amid the chaos of diplomacy and mediation, amid the discussions and handshakes, the fate of the dog that started this entire fiasco remains a mystery, lost forever in the battleground. But oh, what a tale it spun, proving that even the simplest of actions, like a dog's curious dash, can snowball into a full-blown international incident. As for Pongalos, well, he ended up being like that dog that barked a bit too loud and got put in the doghouse. Greece, left with its tail firmly between its legs, had to endure the humiliation. The military decided they needed a new alpha, and off went Pongalos, replaced by the very president he had originally dethroned. Karma is, well, you know the rest. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you're craving more curious tales from history, be sure to subscribe. Keep exploring, and stay curious with HistOddities.